Donald Trump says not guilty. The Unabomber says no more. Amber Heard finally pays up, and Elizabeth Holmes says she's broke. Then we've got a story from the you just can't make this up pile. And then finally, our dumb criminal of the day. Let's talk about it. Good day, everyone. My name is Scott Reich, and this is CrimeTalk. Thanks for joining us. As you can see, we are not in the CrimeTalk studios. We are on the road. We had a court appearance in lovely Montrose, Colorado today, and right now it's currently raining. There's a big thunderstorm right over the airport, so this is a good time to, do our daily broadcast. So, you know the drill. Subscribe if you haven't, like if you do, leave me a comment below, hit that little bell. And remember, you can listen to us anytime on any of your favorite podcasting apps. Now, you need to support the people. Well, we ask you to support the people that support CrimeTalk. Go to crimetalksearch.com. Okay, it's a background subscription service. Yes, you've got to pay, but like all subscriptions, you can cancel at any time. But while you have that subscription, you can do as many background checks as you desire on anyone here in the United States. And it's going to give you valuable information on, is this person telling you the truth? Are they really who they say they are? Do they have a criminal history? Are they on one of those, public registries you're required to be on? Do they have judgments against them? Have they filed for bankruptcy? Things that they're not going to tell you when they first get to meet you. We've had more people say, Scott, I didn't even believe in this stuff, but I tried it. And guess what? Somebody that was coming into my life had an extensive criminal history. And thank goodness I found that out before I gave them my money or my heart. So go to crimetalksearch.com. You're going to be happy that you did. All right. Yes, Donald Trump has pled not guilty in court today. Not guilty to all 37 counts of illegally retaining classified documents and obstructing the government's effort to get those documents back. And Mr. Trump's co-defendant, Walt Nauta, N-A-U-T-A, was also in court today. But although the president has no restrictions for as far as pretrial services go, he can travel around the United States as well as internationally with no problems because obviously he's very well recognized. He has no pretrial conditions other than he cannot discuss the case with Mr. Nauta. Now, I have said this. Watch this very closely. It would not surprise me at some point if Mr. Nauta enters a plea. And for that plea, he gets a benefit. And that benefit would be probably not go to prison for as long as he possibly could. But of course, he must do something. And that do something must be probably to testify against the former president. I'm just saying, okay? 28 years of experience, criminal defense. Watch what Mr. Nauta does. I'm sure somebody from the Trump administration or Trump camp is paying for Mr. Nauta's attorney. However, that attorney owes his duty to Mr. Nauta and nobody else. So if Mr. Nauta wants to cooperate with the government, benefit himself, because what do we say all the time? The threat of imminent incarceration tends to break the bonds of loyalty. That's right. Watch it. I think that's going to be the driving factor. Now, what takes place in an arraignment in federal court? Well, normally, just as Mr. Trump did today, he appeared in front of a magistrate judge. A magistrate judge is not a Title III judge, which means they are not appointed by the president, confirmed by the Senate. They are basically appointed by the chief judge. Usually there's some sort of nomination process, and they have to reapply for that position as a magistrate about every 8 years. Now, the magistrate will advise all defendants, and this magistrate was the duty magistrate, just happened to be the judge that handles all criminal proceedings for a particular week. Normally, there is what they refer to as a discovery conference, where the government says we're going to turn over all of the discovery reports and everything within usually 7 to 10 days. There's a memorandum filled out in regards to the likelihood of a disposition in the case, how long the case will be, and then the court will also read out some speedy trial dates. A 30-day date, a 70-day, and a 90-day date, which basically means if you're in custody, trial has to commence, can commence no sooner than 30 days, no greater than 90 days, and 70 days is kind of the preferred date. So at some point, the question is going to be, does Donald Trump want to slow this case down or speed it up? The government says they want a speedy resolution. They've indicted, so they should be ready to proceed to trial. within that 70 to 90-day window. The defense is going to have to be the one to file a motion for an ends of justice continuance to try and get additional time if they need time to prepare. And I'm not sure a judge is going to drag this out until after the election. We'll have to wait and see. As the news comes forward on that, we will bring it to you. Next on the docket, the Unabomber says no more. That's right. The Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski, the man who's serving a life sentence, who's going to die in prison, and just recently left the Supermax here in the lovely state of Colorado to a prison in North Carolina. Well, he apparently decided it's time to go. And he was found in his cell hanging by prison authorities. A caller at the facility called 911 and reported that they found a guy hanging and that they got a crash guard up there, but basically it wasn't doing any good. Apparently, Mr. Kaczynski suffered some serious neck injuries, including some redness from ear to ear and a deformed, depressed trachea. And apparently rigor mortis had already set in by the time that the prison staff found him there. It's funny how everybody dies in federal custody. Isn't that just crazy? So as you may not know, Ted Kaczynski was arrested in Montana back in April of 1996, and he was serving this life sentence after federal convictions for killing 3 people and maiming many others during a 20-year domestic terror campaign involving mail bombs. That's right, not a good guy. So Kaczynski's death is an apparent suicide, but no official release has been made, press release has been made. But apparently Mr. Kaczynski had just had enough and said, no more, no more. And next on the docket, Amber Heard finally pays up. Yes, Amber Heard has finally paid the $1 million settlement that she owed to her ex-husband, Johnny Depp, after their somewhat bitter legal battle. Now, Depp and his ex-wife obviously settled their defamation claims against each other in December after 5 years of the long-going legal troubles that they had, and obviously the trial that was streamed last year. Now, while a judge in London found in favor of Heard, obviously the jury in the United States in Virginia came up on Depp's side. And after she was ordered to pay $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million, which was later reduced to $365 in punitive damages, Depp was also told to pay $2 million in defamation damages. The couple came to an agreement. And now, so some 6 months from when they decided what they were going to do from this, Depp has finally received the $1 million. And according to Mr. Depp's people, he is going to divide the money up evenly, $200,000 each, across Depp's 5 favorite nonprofits. Apparently, the charities range from organizations helping sick children and life-threatening illnesses and providing housing for deprived communities. Now, Depp had always maintained that he was not trying to get any money out of his ex-wife, but simply trying to clear his name, where she obviously accused him of being a domestic abuser. The jury in Virginia rejected those claims, but still said that Depp and his attorney defamed her. So $1 million, the insurance company paid for the attorneys for her. Johnny Depp paid out of his pocket. It looks like it's a fair settlement. Now everybody can go away, and we never have to hear from Amber Heard ever again. Although Amber Heard was able to come up with $1 million to pay Johnny Depp, guess what? Elizabeth Holmes, the convicted fraudster, she says that she's broke and that she is not going to be able to come up with the $250 a month that she's been ordered to pay in restitution once she is released from prison. Now, Miss Holmes and her ex-boyfriend, Theranos COO Ramesh Sunny Balwani, were ordered to pay $452 million in restitution to investors who bought into their claims of this revolutionary diagnostic tool using a little pinprick on their finger to test for everything. Well, it was a complete scam. The technology never existed. And people like Rupert Murdoch, well, he's owed $175 million, $40 million to Walgreens, and another $14.5 million to Safeway. So if we calculate that, maybe someone can do the math for me. If you pay $250 a month to all of those plus interest, how many hundreds of years will it take to pay that money off? Yes, this is what normally happens in restitution cases. The victims get zero and the defendants will get out of prison. Yes, they have to go serve the prison sentence, as Ms. Holmes serves this 11-year prison sentence in a low security facility. Yes, she's away from her family. Yes, it's prison, but it's not really as bad as it could be. But when she gets out, assuming her husband still is with her, they will be returning to their home that's valued at some $9 million. But of course, she can't pay $250 per month. Just saying, that's how the system works sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. Not fair, but that's how it goes. Next, let's talk about a case that goes into the you cannot make this stuff up. So take a look at this guy, Christopher Snow. He was arrested in Georgia and awaiting trial for possession of inappropriate photographs of very young people. And he also liked to share it with all the other pervs in the world. Well, after his arrest, what did he do? Well, he was given the benefit of pretrial supervision, and he was given an ankle monitor. Well, he cut that ankle monitor off while awaiting his trial. And according to the United States Attorney's Office, while he cut that ankle monitor off, he went right back to doing what he was doing, which is looking at inappropriate pictures and sharing them with individuals. But unfortunately for Mr. Snow, he was arrested and then ultimately convicted of distribution of child abuse materials and one count of possession of child abuse materials. You know what I'm talking about. A real sicko. Apparently his device had 45 illicit images, 17 illicit videos, and most of those were people under the age of 12. That's right. That's prepubescent. That is a pedo, ladies and gentlemen. Dangerous, dangerous people. Anyway, he's now been convicted after his trial, and guess what? He now gets to spend the next 5 to 20 years in prison, and he thought he was just going to get away with it. Not so fast. All right, next, our dumb criminal of the day. So this unidentified man apparently went into a gas station near the University of Illinois campus in Champaign. Well, as the store personnel thought that the man looked a little suspicious, they started following him. And as they were following this individual around, they noticed that, he was trying to steal things, pocketing some drinks and some candy. And when the guy was confronted by the staff, what did he do? He went into a Karate Kid pose, attempting to kick the store employees. Well, needless to say, it didn't quite work out so well for him because the police showed up and decided it wasn't good to use the old Karate Kid one-legged kickstand on them. All right, that's all we have for you today. Maybe I'll send some video or wait for the storm to go by of Montrose, Colorado. Hope you enjoyed it. Not sure if we're going to be able to do a live tonight. We'll play it by ear, but we'll see. We'll give it a shot. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Crime Talk.